You see, I want to be able to bring concepts that we've all heard before, things like spirituality, metaphysics, mystical experiences, um, meditation, uh, meditative states, um, just, in broad spectrum, the world of spirituality in general. I want to bring that down to earth and make it a little bit more digestible and help people recognize that they're experiencing that all the time, as a matter of fact. And so when we talk about concepts that have been termed in science, in athletics, as the flow state, being in the moment, in the zone, in the cut, going with the flow, firing on all cylinders, being fully present, immersed in what you're doing. And people of all different kinds experience it in so many different ways, as many ways as there are people to share what could happen. We're talking like, a musician who describes what they're going through when they're on stage as the music is just flowing through them, that they're merely a vessel for this exchange of information that's coming from who knows where. Some people describe it as on high, some people describe it as grace. Um, and maybe in a scientific sense, they're tapping into layers of the subconscious. But the same remains even with, say, and this is going to be for a lot of the gamers out there who play first person shooters. They'll get into a state where they're flowing through the battlefield and getting headshot after headshot, and they seem to kind of approach everyone from behind, and they don't know what's going on, but they're in the zone, they're in the flow, they're totally focused on what they're doing, and they're at the top of the leaderboards. You see the same thing when you're at work. I experienced this working in the restaurant, that it would almost come off like a dance of tickets printing out of the machine as I'm cooking and organizing all these things in my mind of what needs to go out, when it needs to go out, putting it in the window right when the server's walking up to pick it up and take it out to the table. And the whole thing is this dance of rhythm and energy and different personalities. And that's just one setting, one idea of how flow state could be achieved, like an entire team flowing together, whether it be in a restaurant, in an office, on a field playing sports. This arises all the time. But you'll notice, and you'll notice this in your own experiences, just like somebody who perhaps is a kayaker kayaking down a rapid river, that has to get into the flow state, has to be fully immersed in the moment, or they're going to turn over. They're going to hit a rock. They have to be fully present. You can't be thinking about something else, and you can't be doubting yourself in order to achieve that. So there has to be certain things in place, and I'm going to get into that in a moment. But what I'm saying is that it is prevalent in something that people have experienced, and I'm here to say that that is spiritual experience. That what's going on there is, and I'll say it and then I'll describe it here in a moment, the full immersion of your being into the moment as it's happening, as it's unfolding. You're not dispersing thought energy into the past or the future, thinking about it in that level of awareness. You're not thinking about what you have to do tomorrow. You're not worrying about what had happened. You can't. There's just no reason for it. It doesn't play a part in what you're doing. Not when you're in that state. And people report sensations of, let's say, being lighter, being in harmony. It feels good to get into that state. It's very exhilarating. It's very exciting. And what I am, or the way that I'm expressing it, is that you're actually collapsing time and entering into what we call now, more so expanding the space of now and filling it with all of your energy, all of your attention, all of your awareness in what you're doing. And it takes a level of confidence. It takes a level of capability, competence to be there with what's going on, especially if you're working with a team. Um, this could happen in art too. Or many people report that this can occur while they're painting a picture, that they get lost in what they're doing and they forget how much time has gone by. They don't recognize how much time has gone by until after. And we have such phrases as, my, how time flies when we're having fun. And I believe it's because we're no longer making note of what time it is in kind of a spatial relationship of duration. And you might have heard the saying, time is a construct. That's because it's being constructed by your mind as it's organizing your life through a sequence of steps in patterns to try and figure out, cause and effect to why things have happened, or as you ponder your day or ponder your life. That's where you're erecting time and trying to decide what happened then, what will happen because of that, as you deduce which way you're going to move forward. And I'm not saying that this isn't completely natural and something we should be doing, but what I'm saying is that time is conceptual. It's something that comes up as you try and understand your relationship with the experience that you're having. But in the moments where you are fully immersed with what you're doing, time, as it were, doesn't matter. Quite literally doesn't matter. Like, it's not materializing before you as something that's even important at all. All that's important is what you're doing, and you're filled with an excitement, you're filled with a passion, and that's completely natural. That is a, so to speak, a harmonization with what's going on around you, like a tuning fork matching vibration with a sound or a tune or a tone. You're matching vibration with what's going on and becoming fully immersed with it, lining up with it, and timing is just perfect. You don't even have to think about it. It's as though you've kind of let go of control and everything is happening as it should. And in order to facilitate that, there's been a lot of books, there's been a lot of research, and people trying to understand, how do you get into that state, especially people that have sports teams that are trying to figure out how to achieve peak human performance. We all know that there's something to be said about focus and attention and achieving this thing that we call the flow state. And without going into great detail about all the ways that you could get yourself there through practice and discipline, I'm going to kind of put it into a bit of a broader spectrum, especially in the means of having confidence in yourself and not doubting yourself, could be achieved or cultivated by doing what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. That is being authentic to yourself. That's speaking impeccably, even to yourself. Yeah, to other people. Most of the time, it's a little bit easier to do what you say you're going to do to somebody else because they're going to hold you accountable. But holding yourself accountable is a whole nother can of worms, as it were. When you tell yourself you're going to do something and you don't follow through with it, then it might not arise in your conscious mind, but it might be a little bit more of a subtle subconscious kind of response. You're not happy with yourself. You get down on yourself and you kind of let out the steam, the self-esteem, as it were. You don't feel as good about yourself. Therefore, you leave yourself susceptible to doubt, to self-doubt, because you didn't perform what you said you were going to do before. So you can't trust yourself as much. You don't have as much faith in yourself. It's harder to believe in yourself, in what you're doing, when you have failed yourself in the past. So by getting into a rhythm where you can just follow through with something, make a small list of easy tasks, and get into the momentum, build up the momentum of following through with what you say you're going to do, you can get out of that bad habit of self-doubt and setting up your own traps, your own blocks, your own hurdles that get in the way of the moment, here, now. getting back into talking about right here, right now, in the term in a kind of a metaphysical, more of a mystical way of experiencing what's happening right now, is realizing that that's all you ever experience, that the past and the future are only projections that occur right now, that all you've ever experienced is right now. So instead of thinking about yourself as going moment by moment, experiencing a sequence of steps from start to finish, and you're traveling down this course, rather you're in the eternal present right now, and the future is emerging and the past is leaving right here, right now, in a sense. And no matter what, when it comes into your mind, it's a mental projection, and those mental projections can have loaded with them the doubt, the fears, and all of the things that could slow you down or gum you up or jam you up from being in the moment. There's the saying, which you may have heard, that anxiety, or I'm sorry, always thinking about the future makes someone anxious, always thinking about the past makes them depressed, because those are the kind of emotions that conjure up when your mind is in those places. But you got to remember that it's your choice where you place your attention, and you can set yourself up for success merely by following through with your intention. And that sets up continuity between what you're saying now and the future, giving you, in a sense, more potency and power with your word to yourself first, and then your word to others, meaning that you're actually increasing the amount of influence you have over the world, over yourself, over your mind, over your doubts, over all of the inconsistencies that you haven't followed through with. You can repair that, you can fix that, you can heal that. And it all starts right now, just where everything happens. And, that can be really quite liberating. There's freedom here. There's freedom in the present moment. There's freedom in understanding that you have a choice what you pay attention to. And you will find your own connection to spirit, to soul, to something outside of the limits and boundaries of physical existence in those moments where you are fully connected, where you are in that Zen state, where you are in the cut, where your needle's in the groove, and it sounds just right. You don't even have to work at it while it's happening. You're just there, present, fully immersed in the moment. Your body knows what to do, your mind knows what to do, you know what to do. And when you get into those states, a lot of people, call it all these different things. I think that's also channeling. And a lot of people associate channeling with the whole spiritual new age realm of a spirit coming through, but it's just the raw form energy of the soul coming through without the mind and the ego restricting it. And because that operates in the structures and the boundaries of time and space. And it's not that they aren't valid, and it's not that we haven't learned a lot from that, and that we can work with our histories and get better and make our future better. What I'm saying is that it's a transcendent experience that we all have. And so nobody can tell me that they don't experience spirituality in some such way, because there is those experiences. Even if all you're doing is sitting on the couch watching a movie, you can get locked into that movie and experience a flow state, and you are right there with all the characters and what's going on. You can experience it while reading a book, you can experience it with a lover, you can experience it laughing and having a great time at a party. It doesn't matter, and it's completely individual and specific to the person experiencing it. But what I'm saying is these moments are very real, more real than all of the words that I'm using to express it, because it's you and it's yours, it's your experience, and that's what's most real to you. So if you like what I said, then share it with somebody, subscribe, do whatever you want, like it. If you don't, then don't like it. Then, you know, delete it from your internet history. I don't care. It's not my job to tell you what to do. I'm just trying to show you or shine a light on you that you are more responsible for your experience than you might have originally realized. That, and I hope that's empowering for you. I want it to be. I want to get you excited about being you. Um, and I think that's where the true revolution is, the thought revolution, the spiritual awakening, if you will, is recognizing that you matter, that you're creating your life through your mind, through the way that you talk to yourself. You're the one that sets the hurdles. You're the one that sets the blocks. You're the one that makes assumptions on what people will think of you that could stop you in your tracks before you even attempt the thing that you actually really want to do. So we'll just go with that. We'll finish up right here. Okay. I'm happy with that.